Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, blogtalk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now. WHRADIO. Welcome back to Wrestlingheads Radio. It's me, Oscar, filling in for Skiz today. He's out there in the Dodger game, which the Dodger game was over 4 hours ago, but he's still out there. Joining me now, I got Tom with me. What's going on, Tom?
Not much, man. Crazy Easter weekend. Hope everybody listening had a good Easter weekend. Spent some time with the family. And, baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, baseball is back. Not only that, there was great wrestling over the weekend. New Japan had a show. I know WWE had just Raw right now, but we could talk all about that later. I just feel like talking about some Lucha Underground. And joining us now is a special guest. We'd love to talk Lucha Underground with us. He used to be in TNA. Now you can say he's now currently a Lucha Underground star. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Hernandez. What's going on, Hernandez?
What's going on, guys? How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. I mean, we're just starting up the show. Before we keep the show on the roll, anybody has a question for Hernandez, you guys always could tweet us at WrestlingHeads.com. Wrestlingheads at WrestlingHeads.com. Sorry, I botched here. At WrestlingHeads. At any time during the interview, just tweet us and we'll send our question, and please be respectful. Hernandez, just in case they haven't known, our listeners know, how did it all started? Like, where did you train, and when was all this when you decided to become a wrestler?
Brother, I was doing college football, and I played 2 years in arena football, and I was like a assistant manager of a sporting goods store for like 9 months.
Yeah.
With the clip-on tie and the name tag, and as this one day I had to go to work, I said I can't do it no more. And WWE was in town. They were at the Gold's Gym, and I was working out, and they recommended me a school locally in Houston, and I got started. And that was in '97.
Oh, okay. All right, cool, 97. Going back to your football background, what position did you play?
I started as outside linebacker my freshman year. My senior year, I was defensive tackle. I gained probably 65 pounds in 4 years.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a cool background story. Yeah, because I remember here in L.A. we don't have football out here, so hopefully we get one pretty soon. But, yeah, I'm a big football fan as well, not just wrestling. But, yeah, it's a pretty cool background. And you said WWE sent you to a school, and this is from your hometown, right? In Texas, right?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay, Houston, Texas. Yeah. All right. Is that something you were trying to do at first, like hopefully trying to get into WWE before anything else, or you were trying to be like follow like I don't want to bash the guy, like kind of like Brock Lesnar did, how he just started off in OVW and just got in there, decided going to somewhere else before. That's what you're trying to do at first, right?
I went to school honestly just so I had to get a real job, you know.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to, break into Japan or Mexico, and it worked out. So that was my goals when I first started training.
Okay, all right. All right, then, hey, Tom, you got a question for Hernandez?
Yeah, I'll start off. Obviously, a lot of people know you for your time in TNA, and when you first debuted is when the company was first started taking off. How did you get in contact with TNA, and what was your initial thought of this new company trying to start off and make a name for themselves?
Well, in 2003, I was in the company for about 6 weeks, and it was me, Chad Collier, and this jacked black guy from Georgia, Onyx, and we were doing well. It was okay. And one time, Chad Collier decided he wanted to go to Japan and not tell no one, and then we were let go. And then 3 years, so I'm doing the Mexican Indies. I'm, have a mask on. I'm Mr. Texas, and then Bill Barnes emails me out of the blue, says TNA wants me to come back to be part of this LAX gimmick. And I don't know if you've ever been to Mexico, or worse, if you've been to the Mexican Indies. There's nothing worse than the Mexican Indies.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico. I've never been there for a wrestling show. I always wanted to go to check it out. People were telling me stuff about it, like, hey, you guys should check it out, shows up there in Tijuana are pretty cool. And, I mean, it would be nice one day I check out a AAA show. I mean, that would be freaking nice. Yo hablo español. I know how it is out there in Mexico,
Well,
yeah.
I was doing the WHRADIO, Matamoros and Monterrey, and then I would, they said, hey, come, there's no trial. You're already in the group. We got to work some things out, and pay me X amount of money, and I took the first plane trip to Orlando, bro.
All right. Tom, you want to add something with your question?
No, I was going to pass it back on to you.
All right. Now that we're on the TNA topic, let me ask you a question about this angle or team you're in, Mexican America. I remember at that time out there in Mexico, it was like they had a real rough time. I remember people were worried about the swine flu at that time, and they were also hurting for there was less American visitors or travelers, coming to the country. They were hurting because they were scared either to get robbed or because that swine flu thing. And I remember back then, our friends of mine had to cancel a honeymoon trip, cruise because of the swine flu thing. So Larry was so scared about it at the time. And at that time, that's when you and Anarchia had that Mexican American angle. And then when I saw you guys playing as heels, and then I was thinking to myself, oh God, I mean, please don't. Hope you guys don't get in trouble or TNA get in trouble, because it kind of reminded me of what happened in WWE with Muhammad Hassan, which they did a terrorist angle on The Undertaker, which they choked him out with guys with ski masks, and WWE got a bad rep on it, and it forced the guy to, kill the character off, and, they kind of went too far on that. I was hoping you guys don't do the same thing with the whole, how Mexico was bad at the time, and then you and Anarchia won't go too far, then, there's bad press on TNA and you guys, At the time when that team was formed, did you guys ever thought of that? Like, was there any concern during it, or you just guys went to the flow with it?
Well, first of all, I didn't want to do that gimmick at all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I went to Mexico. I mean, I don't know, a lot of people know, but TNA sent me to Mexico to AAA for 9 months, and I was, do your time, hush, be quiet, and you'll come back, get a fresh start, and they'll push you as a singles guy.
Okay.
I come back, and they didn't know what to do with me, and I get put in the third-rate version of LAX. And I was very hot. So, I mean, and as far as, TNA getting a bad rep or about, that sense of time in Mexico, they didn't have enough press. No one even cared too much about TNA at the time to give them a bad rap. So, we lucked out in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? To be honest, I did like the tag you and Anarchia. I mean, it was pretty cool. Then you had those two girls, Serena and Rosita, with you. I mean, I enjoyed you guys, watching you guys, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I was still hoping in my mind you guys don't go too far. We get the bad rap of TNA and yourself and Anarchia. So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed that tag team. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and I enjoyed them. And it's kind of funny that when you mentioned about TNA, how you're not happy at the time. Are you still in good terms today with TNA, or or did something happen between you guys that you're no longer with that company?
Oh, you have to ask someone else on that, because my contract was up May 12th or May 13th of 2014. The last time I was on TV was in December of 2013. So they just set me at home, paid, and didn't contact me, nothing. I mean, I still haven't heard from them to this day.
Okay.
Okay. And I mean, the only way I knew was, you know how a lot of smart mark internet sites, keep up with when people's contract is up and stuff. So, I thought my contract was up on the 14th, and it was actually up on the 12th, and it was all over the internet that my contract expired, and it was it was just weird. I mean, a weird situation. I mean, there was literally no contact, email, phone call, tweet, social media, a pigeon with a note on his leg, nothing for 6 months. And that's okay. I think the only way that I realized I was no longer part of the show was, I wasn't getting that monthly checks no more, and they unfollowed me on Twitter. So.
Oh wow.
That's the ultimate sign. And
dude, that's heat right there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I attend those Lucha Underground shows. I see you all the time out there, but I remember the first time I saw you was actually in TNA when you and Chavo were teaming up, and I think you guys lost the tag belts to Broman at that Bound for Glory show in San Diego. I was actually there. That's the first time I get to witness you in person. Yeah. And I sat maybe in the floor, the second or third row, and I was right there. I mean, it was a great time. I mean, TNA rarely comes to the West Coast, so yeah, I just enjoy, So, it was great to see guys like yourself, AJ, Sting, Saban. It was great to see you guys out there. It was a good show, and then it was probably one of the best times I was driving to San Diego and just checking it out. So, yeah, it was a good time out there. All right. Tom, you have a question for him?
Yeah, even though I don't want to keep staying on this topic because we want to move to the present, just going back to TNA one more time, what was the one thing you were with that company for about 6-7 years roughly? What was one thing that you always wanted to do in the company that you really never got the chance or the opportunity to do?
More singles matches. I was, we'd always dangle the carrot. Yeah, we got this, working, and they would give, they would throw me a bone every now and then. I mean, I would get to wrestle Sting, I'd get to wrestle AJ, and I'd get to wrestle Angle, and had a blast and had really good matches with those guys. And then whatever, it became, he can't do this, he can't do that, so let's just put him back in the tag. So.
Yeah, and, it was one thing for me because I remember, first watching TNA when they got on Spike, and, obviously there was a lot of hype around it, and I was on and off with it throughout the years, certain points. In your opinion, do you feel like toward the end of your run and maybe nowadays TNA kind of got away from looking at the guys that were with that company for so long and the guys that helped build it and focused away from them? Because that's the impression that I got. I don't know if you can agree with that statement or not.
Well, I mean, how can you let AJ Styles go? I mean, that's pretty much the backbone of the company. How can you let Samoa Joe go? How can you let Daniels, Kazarian, all these guys are still having great matches. So and you're constantly finding new guys from whatever the developmental WWE has, just waiting for guys. It seems like they're just waiting for guys to get fired, so get their 90-day clause so they can hire them and polish them up so they're TNA former WWE superstars. I mean, just look at the roster, you can see,
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I get what you're saying. I think AJ said the same thing in this shoot interview I saw. I mean, I kind of agree with you guys. I mean, you bring in ex-WWE guys and make them look stronger than you guys, and you're not bringing the homegrown talent. And it just seems like they're trying to make you guys weak compared to these guys because they were in WWE. I mean, it didn't make no sense to me. I understand about the whole RVD and AJ, how you had to drop the title to RVD. I mean, I like RVD. I mean, I did watch his ECW stuff, but it didn't make sense for me to have RVD walk out with the TNA title against AJ Styles. I mean, guys like yourself and AJ should have been like, all right, I don't care, you guys from WWE, you gotta put them over, and maybe would have helped you guys more if someone like Chris dropped to you guys or a Scott Steiner or something like that, But I mean, it didn't make no sense to me, and I mean, it was kind of weird, but I still watch it today. I mean, there's Kurt Angle's your champ now. They got Bobby Lashley, Roman's still there. I mean, Bobby Roode, I still like Bobby Roode. James Storm, I like what he's doing to him. I mean, I still watch it today, and I pretty much have to watch everything, just pretty much. So, no reason for me to.
Mean, it was just the point I was, trying to make is just it just felt like TNA was just going away from what they had initially built on, because when you look at, of course, what the Latin American Exchange did, you could say that they were the hottest tag team for an extended period of time, and then it's just like that faded out, and they couldn't do anything with you. It was just like they were a creative mess, and it was, I think it was frustrating for a lot of TNA fans because they're like, you have the talent, why aren't you using it?
Yeah.
Well, I was in TNA for 8 years, and it's you don't have to guess or say I'm wrong or have a counterpoint or anything. It's just proven fact. The company made money 2006, 7, 8, and 9. From 2010 on, it's been rocky at best. So I mean, when they were making profits, they had just the right amount of balance, WWE and TNA and homegrown talent. When they started making bigger profits, that's when they started getting Hogan and Bischoff and Van Dam and Chavo, all the bigger name guys. And then all of a sudden you wonder where those profits went. And now the company is pretty much just like Lucha Underground, just doing tapings. No, there's not traveling, and the guys actually have to find work outside the company.
Yeah, all that what you said, Hernandez, to me, it felt like TNA should be doing better than a lot of companies. I mean, I know they did struggle in 2010, all that, but it's just that they should have just be like one of the top. I mean, I know WWE just got their network, TNA doesn't, but they could have been the highest gross pay-per-view thing. They could have done pay-per-views, and they could have been making more money, even more than WWE, on pay-per-views.
Yeah, so, I think it's, like I said, I didn't want to stay on this topic for too long, but I think a lot of people have just gone on record to say that the decisions that TNA made has led them to where they are today, and necessarily not in the worst place. I think they could be worse, but just like Hernandez said, when guys are getting work outside of the company in order to keep making money, and this was, TNA was the number 2 promotion here in the United States. They were clear-cut number 2, vying to, be competitive to WWE, and, decisions led to where they are today, and then you see some companies are going up, like Lucha Underground, and they know how to grasp the audience and get them back into wrestling and not feel hesitant to get involved with the company.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm going to ask you the next question about Lucha Underground. Right now, to me, I feel like Lucha Underground is one of the best new or red-hot new company that's out there today. Guys got talents like Chavo, Petregón Jr., Drago. I mean, talents from, you can say, names that were in WWE, TNA, and currently in the AAA roster. Hernandez, how do you feel right now that you just joined this roster, and how's the experience being around the Lucha Underground vibe, like backstage and in the company?
Man, Lucha Underground, all it needs is more exposure, because the product is hot, the production's even hotter. I mean, you got guys, you got your Chavo Guerreros, you got myself, you got Big Zeke, you got Blue Demon Jr., John Morrison as well, the bigger name guys. But then you got these guys that are only known in Mexico, like Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., who are brothers, and they are phenomenal. I mean, these guys are, I think, they're closer to 25 and 30 years old. These guys are just young and just hungry, and the Muertes is, AKA another star in AAA, but he's awesome. I think this has the right mix of American guys and Lucha guys. The locker room vibe is phenomenally great. There's no politics. It's like, you go to work, have your match, eat good, and then you're off by 7:30 at night. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling you before we got on air, I mean, I attend the shows a lot. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's free. It's good to, just everybody letting them know, if you guys haven't been to the show, it's free. I mean, it's great. Even though they make us not to wear like certain logos and all that, it's all good. But point is, it's like when I go into the show, I'm expecting that, to see a good show, and like when I leave, I'm gonna have a smile on my face, and it has that. It always does that pretty much, and. Yeah, and you guys having a show this weekend, 2 days of sleeping. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be one hell of a show. So, yeah, I mean, anybody's listening, just check it out. Trust me, I always can. And if I had a problem with it, I will straight out say in the show, I will say my problem. I'm sure you guys never hear me say one little negative thing about Lucha Underground, and that's a good thing. And I want to thank, or I just want to tell you guys, like you yourself and the guys in the back, you guys are doing a good job, and keep doing what you're doing out there in Lucha Underground.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, we do 2 tapings on Saturdays, 2 tapings on Sundays, and each match tries to outdo the next match. And so all it does is make the fans win, because all you're going to see is the best these guys can put out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I'm sure you guys watch the show as well. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people join the show. I haven't heard not one person that said Lucha Underground sucks, which that's good. I'm going to pass it to Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. You being a veteran in this business and now going to Lucha Underground, which is just getting off, on a great note. It's just starting off, but it's got a lot of momentum already going forward. And, being a veteran in the business and now going into this kind of upstart company, do you see yourself as this kind of maybe veteran leader going in and giving advice to some of the younger guys or some of the AAA guys who don't have maybe as much experience here in the States, and they could go up to you with a question? Do you see yourself in that light?
Actually, no, until I started, I've been doing dart matches with the company since October, and I was just, you know, because the locker room's so laid back, and you don't really think of yourself as a veteran or something like that, and then all of a sudden there'll be guys coming to you, oh, what do you do in this situation? And how do you set up for this counter and this, you know, what do you do in this situation? I mean, no one's ever asked me that before, so it's different, but I mean, it's still a lot of fun. I mean, most of those guys just need the exposure. They've got the major league talent. They just need someone to say, hey, look what I can do. Here's my 10, 15 minutes of a match. This is what I can do. And maybe some of the guys have got that opportunity, but maybe the politics kept them down, or it wasn't the right time for them. But in Lucha Underground, as you've seen the show, everyone, I mean every single person that comes out of that, you know, comes into that ring gets the opportunity to shine. So what makes this great for wrestling, great television, and, you know, great reactions from the fans.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, from moment one when I started watching it, there was just something different about it, and, you know, different in the good sense. I think a lot of the time when you're trying to create this new wrestling promotion, one of the things you're going to be worried about is the crowd. But as Oscar knows, it's phenomenal out there. It's been doing great here. And you know, I was thinking about that because I kind of look back to when you were in TNA and you were kind of building the foundation for that company. You were helping, trying to build that company up, and now you've kind of switched roles, and now you're, I guess I like to say, the veteran going in, and if these guys need to, they can come up to you, and they know that they can trust you, and they know that if they need advice or they just want to, you know, talk whatever with you, that you're a guy that they know is going to give the best advice.
Well, I mean, there's, you know, with no politics, no hidden agendas, you know, I would be foolish, or Vampiro, or Conan, or Chavo, or Striker even, would be a fool to give someone, you know, bad advice, because all it's going to do is, you know, mess the match up. And these, like I said, if you've been to the shows, there's about 3 or 4 matches a show, and each match, I mean, they have a dark match, and each match tries to out-top the other match, and that crowd is, they may be getting free or whatever, but that is literally the most rowdiest speaking crowd I've ever been around. Ever.
Yeah, it is insane. I got to say, Mr. Oscar over here he is lucky that he gets to be in California and rub it in all our faces. So thanks, Oscar.
Hey, sometimes it's all weird because some fans be like, I wish I'd be in the West Coast to check out Lucha Underground or PWG. And people in the West Coast like to go out and check out shows. So in the East Coast, like Ring of Honor, CCW, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a little even there, you know?
Hey, touche. But you know what? You're lucky you got Lucha Underground, so I don't want to hear any complaining coming from you.
Yeah. All right. My next question I want to ask for Hernandez. Well, actually, our own Skits actually texted me a message. They want me to ask Hernandez. And the question he wants me to ask him is that is there anybody in the current Lucha Underground roster that you haven't faced that you will really, really like to work with?
I think this guy's phenomenal. He's Phoenix, hands down. This guy is phenomenal. I think the first time I saw him in AAA last year, I was in awe. And then he's doing the same thing, if not better, here in Lucha Underground. He's ridiculously good. I think the kid's maybe 23, 22 years old. Speaks really good English, has the Japanese and Lucha background. Tough as nails, but I mean, this guy can do anything, man. I mean, if you see any of his matches, he's just tipping. That's just the tip right there. He can do a lot more than that. Yeah, definitely. He is a great talent. Like that match he had, that casket match he had with Mil Muertes. It was insane. Yeah, it was insane. It was sick.
he was like, it was crazy. You know, I enjoyed that match, but he has more matches on Lucha Underground that I can name that are great. I mean, there's like maybe more than a handful I can say go on, but yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to my question that I heard it from another podcast show. I believe it was from the Jim Ross Report. He said that he heard a rumor that it's possible that after you guys tape Ultima Lucha, it's possible that Lucha Underground could be heading to a hiatus, meaning like a break. Like you guys could be out for a while. Is that something you'd like to address, that rumor, or is it something, is that rumor true, or is there anything you can like maybe tell us about it?
I would like not to, because that's way above my pay scale, and I don't want to get in trouble for saying, positive, negative things that I shouldn't say, but I don't think that's true. You don't think that's true? All right. Well, I'm just hoping... I'll leave it at that, bro. I mean, if you guys want a direct, straight answer, you can ask someone like Krista Joseph, the head writer, or someone the higher ups that writes his paychecks, brother. Because I'm not getting in trouble. I don't, they've given us what's going to be going on, and I don't know if it's been relayed to the public. So, yeah, that's a great Twitter question for Krista Joseph. All right, I will hit him up. We had him on our show a few weeks back. He's a cool dude, and maybe I'll hit him up. Because, like I said, I heard this from Jim Ross, and he said that he heard this rumor that you guys are taking a hiatus after Ultima Lucha, which I hope not, because, I feel like this company is doing good. It's red hot. And if you guys say you guys do have a hiatus, like a 6-month hiatus, then will it be the same? Will there be a lot of people showing up like it used to be? There'll be a lot of questions going into it. But, yeah, I mean, I just hope it's not true, and I'll hit up Joseph and maybe after the show. Yeah, over. I think everyone listening to this should hit up Krista Joseph on Twitter and ask him. So that way, you can get it straight from the horse's mouth. Chris doesn't pull the punches, so he'll tell y'all. Yeah, hit up Chris and Joseph, and you can do it right now while you're listening to Joe. It would help. Do it right this second. Yeah, do it right this second. So, yeah. at Krista Joseph. Yeah, he's probably listening right now. Who knows? So just follow us on Twitter. Just telling you that. Just follow us on Twitter. All right. Tom, you have a question for him?
Yeah, I actually got a question. My buddy Mike, he was listening to the show, and he wanted to know, Hernandez, do you think that Lucha Underground is properly introducing the AAA guys that the American audience might not know? Do you think they're introducing them properly by just throwing them into matches and showing them what they got in the ring?
Well, I think it's called Lucha Underground for a reason. Yes, they're showcasing AAA talent, but I mean, you also have to realize some of that AAA talent is being used in different ways and different names and different masks. So I think this is their version of what they're doing, not strictly introducing AAA to the American audience.
Yeah, I can see that, and it was interesting to me because most of the AAA guys I weren't familiar with, and honestly, from the first time I saw either one of their first matches, whether it's Pentagon or Phoenix or whoever, I mean, I was hooked immediately just because the stuff they were doing in the ring was phenomenal, and it wasn't just that, but it was I could see myself getting invested with who they are, because you could be good in the ring, I believe, as a wrestler, but if you can't connect with the audience, then you'll be dead in the water. But I think they're doing it perfectly, and it entices me more to want and go check out AAA, which I maybe wouldn't have wanted to do before, but now it's like, all right, now I got to go check out AAA and see these guys.
I mean, that's a great analogy what you just said. I mean, the people who say that it's not being done properly, you have to realize this is the LA Network, a network in English, telling Hispanic or Latin history from lucha and other things. So I mean, it's their version of what they want the whole world to see. So I mean, it's not like, I mean, they can just, you know, they wouldn't even need a show. They can just, you know, redub the AAA shows in English if that's what that's all they're going to do. I mean, it's Lucha Underground, not AAA.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it coming from that point. All right, Oscar, I'll pass it right back to you.
Yeah, definitely. I want to give a little shout-out to Mr. Matthew Grant. He actually posted a question on Twitter already to Chris and Joseph about the hiatus thing. So shout-out to Matt, by the way. And anybody's listening, you should do the same, too. Bug the hell out of Mr. Chris and Joseph, anything.
Yep.
Shout-out to Chris and Joseph.
I concur on that.
Yeah, shout out to Chris and Joseph, by the way. All right. My next question I'd like to ask you about Lucha Underground. Is there something on Lucha Underground that you wish you want them to do? Like, I know it's too early them to do, like, possibly either do a pay-per-view or maybe shows outside of the Lucha Underground arena, like maybe a possible house show. Doesn't have to be televised or anything. Is there anything you like to see Lucha Underground do besides doing the same thing, like just tapings and all that stuff? Is there something you like to see them do?
Yeah, well, first of all, people need to realize that, you know, Lucha Underground is a show about lucha. Not like Impact, not like Raw, not like SmackDown or nothing like that. It's a TV show about lucha. That's why, you know, we're doing, you know, that's why the company, as of right now, was concentrating on just the TV tapings, but the tremendous response from the crowd has got them second guessing whether there should be a traveling show or, you know, house shows, as you say. It's taken off, you know, spiral into a bigger and bigger things. I mean, who knows what could happen this time next year?
Yeah, definitely. I know it's really still too early to say. I know you just said it's a lucha show, but I feel like if Lucha Underground wanted to do a pay-per-view, I think they could do it in the pay-per-view business will let them do it in a heartbeat, because I feel like in the pay-per-view business, they are dying for more wrestling. Now that WWE got their own network, TNA barely do pay-per-views. I don't even know when the next time they ever do one. And
well, I think TNA just does. They call it a pay-per-view, but it's really a TV taping.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's just like I said, God knows if they're going to do another pay-per-view again. I mean, last time they did one was Bound for Glory, and that was the last time they ever did one. But I don't know, but if they're going to do another one anytime soon. Ring of Honor is not doing pay-per-views now. I mean, and I just feel like if Lucha decide to do one, even do one like in a month or so, I think the pay-per-view guys will say, yeah, doors are open. Here you go. You know, it just seems like when WWE got their own network, they feel like they need more wrestling, and I just think like a lot of companies could do pay-per-views easily now these days. That's how I see it. You know, but yeah, I'm gonna go pass it back to Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, my next question I also got another text message from one of my other buddies listening. His name is DJ, and he wants to know, where do you see Lucha Underground within the next couple of years?
With the next couple of years, my personal opinion, I see it being the hottest show on Univision. You know, on a bigger, you know, it's on the Ultimas right now on Saturdays. I think the show is so great. We have to do the promos and vignettes in Spanish and English, so they're already dubbed for Spanish audiences. I think that, you know, the right person in the right network, either, you know, Univision or Galavision, is going to pick, or Telemundo, something like that, is going to pick him up, and it's just going to skyrocket from there.
Definitely. That's something I could see just as well. I would be even more enticed to see that. And I would love to see it grow. Now, do you think it was crucial for Lucha Underground starting off to get notable names to do the English commentary, such as Vampiro and Matt Striker, two names that resonated throughout the wrestling world? Do you think that was important for them?
Yes, of course, because, Vampiro, I think he does the Spanish version as well. And, Striker's awesome. I don't know why he was not in WWE anymore or don't really care, but, it's very fortunate and we're very blessed to have someone like that on our show. Yeah,
without a doubt. And I think that just adds a lot more because to the people that don't watch the Spanish version, when you're watching the English version, you want commentary that's going to know the product, and Matt Striker and Vampiro, I think, are doing a good job in getting fans in and getting them even more hooked into the product as well. All right, Oscar, I'm going to pass it right back on to you.
Yeah, I'm going to say something about the Spanish commentary. I do watch it in Spanish, too. Like, say I had to miss it for some reason on Wednesday, I could watch it on Una Mas on Saturday because I do understand Spanish. And I just want to tell you, Hugo, when I watch Lucha Underground in Spanish, it's like watching a soccer game. It's like, if Hugo wants to do soccer, say you want to replace that one dude, I don't know his name, but the guy says, go, like, for 5 minutes. I think Hugo pull it off. So, it's pretty cool, though. It's like watching a soccer game, and when I watch Lucha Underground in Spanish, I give Hugo props on that. But, yeah, definitely. My next one is not really a question, but maybe you can explain to our listeners about the whole Univision thing. I know Univision is a big channel for the Spanish language. Explain to the listeners how if Lucha Underground in Spanish can upgrade to Univision, how will that affect you guys in a positive way? Like, it just shows more expansion, like you were saying earlier, it needs to be more exposed more, but in the Spanish language, or like how can you explain to the listeners on that?
The perfect analogy would be if Lucha Underground was on Univision, it'd be like if WWE or American Wrestling Product was on NBC or CBS or ABC or something like that. Univision is the number one channel watched in the United States. The number one channel. Everyone, not ESPN, not CBS, not ABC, no, Univision. If you don't think so, please Google it after this podcast. But that's the perfect analogy. Is if WWE went from were they on like USA or something? If they were on NBC, because NBC is anybody can get NBC. So that would be the perfect analogy.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let me ask you about something about Lucha Underground. I said Ultima Lucha. I want to say I think it's going to be not this weekend, but the tapings and the next set of tapings, I believe, what's going to be. I don't want to spoil it too much, but do you have any information you want to give out to listeners? What is Ultima Lucha is going to be about? Is it going to be a 2-hour show, or is it going to be in parts? Like, how is it going to work? Because I know Lucha Underground is a 1-hour show, but how will all that is going to work? Maybe you can explain to listeners how this thing is going to work. Because I even want to know what's going to go on, how this is going to work.
Oh, I want to know too. So that's an even greater question for Christy Joseph as well. All I know is from what information I was given, next weekend will be that not this weekend, but the following weekend will be that taping you're talking about. But that's something you would have to ask Chris, because he's the brainchild. He has all the info. He's the one who's making all this. So that's another question for all you guys that want to know the answer today. Tweet Christy Joseph.
All right. All right, then. All right, well, I'll give you one more final question for the night for me. My next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you still feel like you can still be part of Lucha Underground in 5 years? Hopefully, maybe in 5 years, Lucha Underground could be something huge, or you think you might be doing bigger things in 5 years?
Well, right now, one of the reasons why I went to Lucha Underground is because of the great production they have. I mean, Robert Rodriguez owns the network. Mark Burnett is, the head producer. He's made Shark Tanks, Celebrity Apprentice, Survivor. It's a thing that I want to be the transition into, to do some more movies and TV and commercials and stuff like that. Something like maybe be like the big version of Danny Trejo, something like that would be kind of cool. But that's what I'm envisioning for myself.
All right. Well, all right. Before we let you go, I actually got the same guy who texted me, Skid. He wants me to ask you something else. He says if you can, hold on. Sorry, I can't read it right. Okay, if you're allowed to work in any other promotion, I guess he didn't type it right, but it looks like he typed. He says, "Is there anybody you'd like to work with outside of Lucha Underground that you'd be really loving to work with?" Like example, of Brian Cage or Ricochet, like someone else like that. Oh, actually, they're part of Lucha Underground. Okay,
I've gotten to wrestle.
Let's just say he wants to ask like anybody outside of Lucha Underground who you like to wrestle.
For myself, I was blessed, hit or miss during my teenage time to wrestle guys I've always wanted to wrestle. I think the only thing left in my career that I would like to do again is have one more run with Homicide and see, without the political strings and just how Lucha Underground is, and just go with it and see what can happen. That's the only thing I really want to do.
You know what? It's funny about Homicide. I remember a few weeks ago we had the crew on here. And I don't know, it was Tom that asked him that question about will a fourth member of the crew, or is it possible to have a fourth member? And I couldn't think of no one at the time, but then Homicide would be nice to be a member of the crew. I think he'd be a perfect fit in there if they want to bring in Homicide. I mean, hey, Homicide's one bad boy. I don't think he's no longer part of TNA anymore. He was just there recently doing X Division stuff. But, I don't think he's there anymore. So, yeah.
Homicide's like my brother. He's going to have shoulder surgery again next month. Actually, tomorrow. All right. All right. April 7th, he's having shoulder surgery tomorrow.
All right. Okay, well, Skits also has me asking one more question. I know you just been part of Lucha Underground, but he wants to know, are you able to work other promotions besides Lucha Underground, like independents or anything like that?
Yes. I mean, Lucha Underground, the production and the higher-ups are so cool and very relaxed. They let you do a lot of independent stuff. I do a lot of luchas here in Texas and some very, very few American style, but, I'm trying to do some more commercials and stuff like that. So, they let you do them, so it's really, really cool.
All right. Do you have any shows coming up, like in the indies, that maybe you want to share to our listeners?
Well, Friday, I wrestled in River City Wrestling here in San Antonio, which is about 3 hours from my house. We had X-Pac on the show. We had X-Pac, and we had a cage match. It was me and X-Pac and a radio DJ versus 3 guys, and it was pretty cool. I mean, because X-Pac hasn't wrestled in Texas in a long, long time, and he was really, really big. He was really big here when he was in Global back in the early 90s. Yeah. And we had like a war game style match, and he came in. I mean, there's 500-600 people there just going nuts for all his spin kicks, his Bronco Buster. The guy still moves great. He moves. I mean, it's like I don't know. I know he's wrestling on a full-time basis now, but this guy still can go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just saw him just recently I was at WrestleMania. I just saw him out there doing the DX thing. Once again, it was pretty cool. Yeah, but he's a cool dude. I met him a couple of times when he was over here in California. He does shows when out here, so he's a cool dude. X-Pac, 6-Pac, where you want to call him, 1, 2, 3 Kid, Lightning Kid. He's a good dude. So yeah. All right, Hernandez, we're going to let you go right now. Is there anything you like to give out, like you want to give out any plugs or anything before we let you go?
Brother, come to the show this weekend. If you don't live in L.A., get a bus ticket. You have to see the show live. If you've seen the show on television, the production makes it awesome. But, I mean, and you've been there live, you know that rabid crowd, bro. I don't know what the hell maybe they give y'all free beer or free Coke or something to snort before y'all come out there, because y'all just go nuts.
Yeah, hey, don't forget the taco truck. Don't forget the taco truck.
Oh, that taco truck is awesome, man.
Yeah. Do you have a something you want to give out, like to follow you, like Twitter or anything like that?
Oh yeah. If you guys on Twitter, you want to follow me, it's at SupermaxCTM, SupermaxCTM. And that's the only social media I have. Tune in Wednesday. I think I make my wrestling. I think I wrestle in a 6-man Tuesday. Wednesday. Wednesday when the show comes on, Lucha Underground, a 6-man, and it goes on from there. So, I mean, come check it out. It's the hottest ticket they have, even though it's free. You need to check out Lucha Underground.
Yes, I already saw that match already. I was there. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I already know the results, but I'm still going to watch it anyways. It's still a fun show to watch. And people, you watch Lucha Underground on Wednesday, you can check his debut match in there, and you'll see plenty more matches of Hernandez and Lucha Underground. And, yeah, just check it out. All right, Hernandez, thank you for coming on. I'll see you soon at the tapings, and keep doing what you're doing out there. And I hope you and Lucha Underground keep skyrocketing and continue guys doing, because not only you're doing a good job, everybody else out there is doing a good job, and I just want to say it. All right, Hernandez, you have a good night now, all right?
All right, you guys, thanks for having me. Have a good night, guys.
All right, have a good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sean Hernandez. That was a good interview. He was a cool dude. I'm sure Tom was happy to have him on.
Yeah, Supermax, man. Listen, there's very few guys that are intimidating, but I would not want to be border tossed by him. He would throw me into orbit.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's a cool dude, great interview, gave a lot of insight. We've had multiple guys come on here, from Krista Joseph, Lo Cholo, B-Boy, et cetera, and you never hear anything negative about Lucha Underground behind the scenes. Everybody just seems to be in great spirits, and it can only go up from here. And getting more insight, like I said, from a veteran like Hernandez, it just validates it even more. So it was good talking to him, and what we have to do is get a big just Lucha Underground roundtable going. We need to get like him, Cholo, B-Boy, everybody, Ricky Reyes. We get everybody and just do a roundtable talking about Lucha Underground and wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's take a little commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some Brawl. Maybe we'll talk about some AJ Lee, and hopefully maybe we'll talk about some Ring of Honor that happened over the weekend. All right, we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Drew Gulak, and you are listening to Wrestlingheads Podcast.
Hello, friends. This is Matt Seidel. You are using your brain and listening to Wrestlingheads. Respect.
Yeah. That was Matt Seidel. Saw him over the weekend at TWG. And I saw him at Denny's. He set a couple of tables by us. It was pretty cool. But maybe we should talk PWG a little later as well. But let's see. I think I got Matthew Grant on. Matthew Grant, are you there?
I am there. We also have somebody else as well.
Let me take a huge guess. Is this some dude, tall dude, black? Maybe he's like 6'4", wears glasses.
Kind of looks like Steve Urkel.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's go there. Talk about your. Let's not talk about your weak chops that I saw on that one time you did in the rain. Let's not go there, bro. Let's not go there, man.
I love you, brother.
I was expecting Dwight Howard, but nah. Okay, whatever. Steve Urkel. Anyways,
stop it.
Yeah. Raw. Today, my opinion on Raw.
Before we get into Raw, I saw a really weird rumor, and I wanted to throw it out there to you guys. Apparently, Ricochet got the nod from Lucha Underground to work ROH, and ROH decided not to use him. Any thoughts, guys?
I never heard that one before, but if this is true, Ring of Honor are a bunch of dumbasses if they don't they don't want Ricochet in the roster. That's retarded.
But hold on, Ring of Honor guys can't work. Dragon Gate / Evolve guys can't work with Ring of Honor, so that's impossible.
Yeah, I was thinking there's no way that Ricochet would be able to work Ring of Honor. No way.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out there. It's something I heard.
I don't know.
Whoever came with that rumor's an idiot.
All right. Well, tonight's Raw, which I say was an okay Raw. It wasn't better than last week, but it was okay. There was a couple of things I like on Raw, like Neville against Seth Rollins. I loved it. Love it. I love what they're doing.
Yeah, that was great. I was surprised. When they were doing the challenge where Kane said, you're going to be facing somebody. I thought it was going to be a jobber or something. So when Neville came out, they kind of remixed his theme a little bit, and kind of still came out with that cape. But I thought it was a great match. One thing that was just it was amusing to me. I look on Twitter, and maybe that was my first mistake, but I looked on Twitter and you see just tons of people. Oh, Neville was buried already. Second week on Raw and he's buried. It's like,
yeah, some
dude,
people are idiots for that. He got some exposure as a main eventer.
Yeah, look, do people know the definition of buried? I feel like they throw that word around more than anything. It's okay. Are you going to have Neville win your world champion? No. I think everybody kind of figured that Neville was going to lose, but he put on a hell of a matchup.
Another thing to acknowledge, the NXT chants, man, that was awesome. For a
casual
casual
crowd,
that is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And where was Raw tonight? From
Texas.
Houston, Texas, Dallas?
No, I think it's
it was in the Texas area.
Austin, Texas. It was in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, and I think we know from past that Texas doesn't have the best crowds, but I thought they were okay tonight. There were some points where they were loud and they were cheering for them. They actually, what I liked is during that match they were chanting for NXT, but more toward into the match they were just chanting for Neville. They were chanting, for the guy.
I heard some Neville chants.
Yeah, they were chanting for the guy, not the brand. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's crazy when you said the people were tweeting that Neville's getting buried. I'm like, I don't see nothing negative since he joined the main roster. Like, nothing negative I see from Neville. I mean, I like what they're doing.
I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing kind of with Stardust tonight with Cena. People said Stardust got buried. I think that was a little bit of exposure for him as well.
Is that Stardust or Mr. Sinister? Yeah. Yeah, I guess kids don't know Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister is a villain from the X-Men. That's how Stardust, how he looks now when he comes out with a new little thing he comes out with. But people are calling him Mr. Sinister now. But yeah.
I thought Oscar's trying to put this over for a second.
I'm going to put myself over. I'm just saying there's a character named Mr. Sinister.
No, I didn't know. That's why.
Yeah. Watch X-Men on Netflix. You know what I'm talking about. Good show, by the way. But anyways, Stardust did put up a good performance in Cena. I kind of like what Cena's doing with the whole open challenge every week for the U.S. title. I kind of like it, you know? I mean... I
hate to throw us off the topic, but what Cena brought up, I don't know if you guys saw the Jericho, well, I guess you didn't see the Jericho podcast because we've been on here for past about an hour or so, but he asked Cena if he would turn heel, and apparently Cena had, like, gear ordered, a new theme song recorded, and everything before his WrestleMania 28 match with The Rock.
What?
Basically, he said John Cena was down.
John Cena was going to turn heel before WrestleMania 28, and never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think this has been addressed in the past, that Cena's wanted to turn heel at certain points in the past, but, Vince and company doesn't want him to turn heel because he was the main guy. I think you can... I'm not a big Cena fan. Really, so I've never has been, and I've said it before. But you can tell that I think he's sick of just playing the good guy. There's so long a guy can go with playing the same character in wrestling. Even if you're making money, and Cena's making the most money in the WWE. He's a performer, and he wants to change it up. Because I think, he is passionate about what he does. And he's like, hey, I want to go out there and tell the kids to screw off, and everything that I've said in the past was a lie, and you're all idiots. So I think you can see something in him that he wants to change. So I am liking what he's doing with the U.S. title thing. It keeps him out of the main event picture, but keeps the undercard more relevant than it has been. So I'm liking it. I think it gives guys a good opportunity. And, whoever does take the U.S. title off of him, hopefully, it's somebody that needs it, not like a Sheamus or something, because that would just bring it back down to where the title was once before. But if you put it on the right guy, it could work. I think it could work.
All right. Well, it's funny, though, you mentioned about heel turn back in WrestleMania 28. I remember that time I was like, this would be a perfect time for Cena to turn heel, because there was a point where CM Punk merchandise was selling more than Cena, and I was thinking, you know what, there's no excuse. Now you can have Cena turn heel. Now you got CM Punk doing all these things. He's your WWE champion. He's a babyface. Everybody likes him. Buying his merchandise. I think it's a good chance. It's a good time for Cena to turn heel. Have him beat The Rock, and then go after CM Punk for the title. I think that would have been a perfect way to have him turn heel.
I'm like with you guys. Like, they sure, like, remember when Cena tried to bring back the Thug Cena, the Thugonomics, and he rapped in the ring?
Yeah.
That promo? Like, yeah. That was right there. But I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But
they just don't have the balls to put him as a heel, so we'll see. It probably will never happen, but we'll see what happens one day. All right. Today, also on Raw, I guess we find out who's going to be the new number contender for Seth Rollins' WWE Championship. Before there was a triple threat match in the main event, all the competitors in the triple threat had matches before that, like Randy Orton, he wrestled Kane, he beat Kane. Ryback wrestled, he wrestled Luke Harper, I believe, and he beat Luke Harper. Yeah. And then Roman Reigns beat Big Show. And then the main event, they all had a match, and Randy Orton won, which to me it makes sense to have him go against Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules. So there you go. That's your.
Am I the only one that would have rathered the Fatal 4-Way for the title? Is it just me?
I don't know why. Wouldn't it make sense to have Ryback in there?
I mean, he's the big guy.
I wouldn't have liked it for the simple fact that after
they got Dean Ambrose in there. That would have been cool.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I think they should hold off on multi-man title matches for a while, just because. I mean, this is just my perspective, but after seeing that Lesnar, seeing a Rollins match from the Rumble, you can't top that. I don't think anybody can top that, unless it was like Rollins, Neville, and Finn Balor, maybe. But that's a whole different thing. But with the guys they have there, if you're going to have a multi-man match, you have to have three guys who can go in there and know what they're doing and click well, and that's why that Rumble match was so good, because all three of those guys just clicked in a certain way, and it made for a match of the year candidate.
Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that part. But going back to a 4-way, it doesn't make sense to have Ryback in there. Like, do we put Ryback in there? I understand to do like a triple threat, to have Orton and Roman Reigns in there, because Roman in storylines it makes sense because Roman Reigns feels like he kind of got screwed out of the WrestleMania moment because of Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton beat Seth Rollins in WrestleMania, so that kind of makes sense to me. But if they're gonna go with Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in main event and Extreme Rules, I have no problem with it at all. I don't know about you guys, but I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't care. It is what it is. Seth Rollins need to wrestle somebody.
Yeah.
So.
It's just looking from Raw tonight, I didn't mind the triple threat match a lot, but I mean, some of those one-on-one matches were just, absolutely brutal to watch. Randy Orton Kane dragged on. Roman Reigns Big Show. How many fucking times have we seen this match already? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing this fucking match.
I'm sorry. If we're talking about brutal to watch, we got to talk about that Divas match. Jesus Christ, that was awful.
Yeah, that was horrible. And then, there was the backstage segment with Kane, and he's back there, and he's looking all like annoyed and stuff because what's been going on with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins doesn't have confidence in him as director of operations. And then out of nowhere, Summer Rae, Natalya, Cameron, and Alicia Fox come in and say, well, we should get a chance at the Divas title. Give Divas a chance. And then
you talking about that one? I didn't even watch that one.
Well, no, I was kind of tying both of them in. Like, they were both kind of segments were horrible, and this is leading to a Divas Battle Royal next week to determine the number one contender. Like, a battle fucking royal.
Why is it every single time we have to do something Divas related, it has to be the goddamn fucking Battle Royal?
Because that's just what it is. They don't know what to do. Like, Vince is like, all right, what do we do with the Divas? Put them in a Battle Royal, damn it.
I don't even know why we waste our time talking about it either.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go back to that Divas match. I think the best thing that happened in the end was fucking Naomi. I don't know if she was twerking or shaking her butt, but that was the best thing.
I want to ask you guys a question, though. It has nothing to do with the Divas, though. So you guys think they're going to probably kick out King of the Authority?
I could see that happening. A lot of people were talking about a face turn for Kane. Maybe even him bringing back the mask in a face way. I don't know what they could do in that. But
or maybe have Kane disappear.
Who knows?
What we should do is have Kane versus Big Show, and the winner and the loser have to go away for a year. That sounds like a great idea.
Oh, I
don't know.
If the loser leaves WWE, might they both get counted out, but that works too.
I'm calling it now, right now. I'm going to call it right now. When Triple H comes back, they're just going to beat the shot of Kane, and he's going to disappear, basically. Like, you know, they did.
Hopefully they can do that with Big Show and his goddamn treaches.
I want to point out something else, but go ahead, keep talking. I forgot what I was going to say.
I was just basically saying get rid of Big Show and his trophy.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about that.
Your guys' thoughts, because this is something that I've actually been enjoying ever since it happened last week. I'm enjoying the new Sheamus character, the new look. His new theme song is badass, in my opinion. I think it fits his new character perfectly, and I'm liking it. You know, he's a lot stiffer than when he was, you know, goody two-shoes Sheamus, you know, playing to the crowd. He's a lot stiffer in his strikes and his kicks. I didn't really like the match between him and Mark Henry, but I'm liking what they're doing with him. And I think it's something that Sheamus really needed.
Him and Mark Henry does not need to happen ever again. I think we've seen that like 10,000 times in like 2011 or whatever it was. So, yeah, let's not do that.
You know what, Matt? I actually saw that match in person in SummerSlam a few years ago, and it ended up when those two went through the thing. I remember that.
But Sheamus, I said on Beyond the 3 Count, I feel it's a huge rejuvenation for Sheamus. Man, he's been so stale for so long, and coming back with his character, a brand new theme song, a brand new look, and like you said, Tom, just the stiffer shots, the way, the mannerisms he has nowadays. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I like the line tonight when he was cutting his promo before Mark Henry came out, and you know the crowd was chanting "You look stupid," and then you just see Sheamus be like, "All right, quiet down. A grown-up's trying to talk here." I thought that was great. He was completely burying the crowd. I loved it. And that's what it takes. It's just a simple. It's nothing too deep or complicated. All they did was change his look, change his theme song, change the way he acts. 3 simple things, and it's done. I think it's done wonders. It just feels something fresh and new, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Sheamus does within the next couple months. And one idea, I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but I wish Brock was a little around more. He doesn't have to appear at every show, but a Sheamus-Brock Lesnar match would be something I would want to see. If they could go out there and be stiff as hell with each other, like a Japanese strong-style match, that would be something I'd want to see.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be an interesting match. But my point is Sheamus, and if he'll turn to be honest with you, I was never been a Sheamus fan, even when he first came out. I was never a Sheamus fan. But I tell you this, I think he's a better heel than a face. I mean, as a face, he was basically good to, you know, buy my teddy bear Sheamus on Target, whatever. But him turning heel is pretty cool. I mean, seems like him and Dolph Ziggler are going to work together at Extreme Rules. That's what it looks like to me. I like it how he's talking smack about the little guys like Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. It's pretty cool. Let's see how it works the next few months, and maybe we'll help him out a lot, like big time. And maybe he could be the man that takes the time for like a John Cena or Daniel Bryan in a few months. Who knows? Yeah. And changing off topic, I want to ask you a question. Bray Wyatt came out. It looked like he's sending a message to somebody, and it doesn't look like to be the Undertaker. What, do you guys feel the same way? Like, you think he's sending another message to somebody else? Like, if you guys think the same way I'm thinking, who do you guys think talking to?
Somebody suggested it on Twitter, and I think it's going that way. Unfortunately, I think it's Roman Reigns. I'm
starting feeling Roman Reigns as well.
I mean, I can see it, but God, I don't want to see it.
Roman Reigns doesn't have a match. It's got to be the only person.
Yeah, just digging Bray Wyatt into a bigger and bigger hole. You know, he loses to The Undertaker, and it just feels like there was, like, Bray Wyatt's momentum is just gone again. It feels like a repeat from last year when he lost to Cena. Just his momentum is like gone. And, you know, I'm still a fan of the guy. He's still really young. He's probably going to be with the company for a long time. But it's just like, why are they not building this guy up as the next monster? Why is he not going out there and beating the ever-loving shit out of everybody and, you know, doing, crazy mythological things or whatever? Just something to help him. It just seems like they build him up with these promos, and then he loses. And then they do the same thing again, and then he loses. Build him up again, and then he loses. It's like a never-ending cycle with him, and I just wish they would seriously, like, push the guy and make him seem like a viable threat in the company.
For those who thought that he could recover from this year's loss to Undertaker, just like last year's loss to John Cena, it is not looking really good. Yeah,
I know, and which a good way to have him recover from all this is that if he's gonna do Roman Reigns, then whatever pay-per-view they're gonna wrestle, like Extreme Rules or Payback, whatever, he better win this one. Because
I wouldn't be mad if they had like a battle, like maybe have like 3 pay-per-views of them like fighting each other. Have maybe Wyatt win one, Roman win one, and fuck it, give Roman the last one. Who cares?
It would help Roman. It would really help Roman in the long run. I'm definitely with Skits on this one.
Yeah, but if they're gonna do that, I mean, Bray Wyatt won the first one. Let Bray Wyatt win the first one. That's what I care about. Because
what about having Wyatt win by disqualification? Because he has a heel, so would that make a difference?
You mean,
does anybody think there's a possibility of the Wyatt family getting back together? I mean, that's always been in the back of my mind.
I mentioned this to you the other day. I was watching the what is his name? That podcast, that guy Sam Roberts. And Sam Roberts asked him that question, and he said, "Oh, there's always a possibility." He was like, "Those are my guys," basically. So
maybe
he said
okay, go ahead.
He said if he had a choice, there'll be more than just those 3 guys, you know, just them 3. He said there'll be more Wyatts. He said if it was all up to him.
Well, I mean, Bo is growing a beard.
I suggest everybody. Everybody on this show to go watch that.
Yeah. Now, I was actually thinking about this kind of when he was feuding with Taker. And I was thinking back to when Taker debuted, and he was a heel for a little bit, but the crowd was so into him that they eventually turned Undertaker face pretty quickly, within his first year or two. Do you think that Bray Wyatt needs to stay heel longer, or do you think that there's a possibility that they turn him into kind of what they did with The Undertaker, where he's a face, but he's still kind of the same character?
All right. I don't know how to answer this, but maybe I'm a little afraid for him to turn face, because if he turns face, then
I don't think Bray's turn face.
I mean, will it hurt him a lot like The Miz did? I mean,
nah, don't even compare him to Miz, bro.
Well, I was thinking, like I said, what they did to The Undertaker when he was first debuting, because he was brought in by Ted DiBiase and managed by Brother Love, then eventually Paul Bearer. But they turned him face pretty quickly after that because they saw how over the character was. And I think they could do something similar like that to Bray Wyatt, and it wouldn't hurt him, because look what it did to The Undertaker. It propelled him into stardom. And
another thing have you seen Bray started wearing his own T-shirts too? So, and I saw a couple of people wearing Bray Wyatt T-shirts at WrestleMania. So he can sell T-shirts too. Like, I'm just saying. I mean, not saying it won't be a bad thing for him. I mean, but him as a heel right now is the right thing.
Yeah. It was just a thought that I had.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens with Bray Wyatt. Maybe he is going after Roman Reigns, and Skip did put a point out there. He doesn't have a match as of right now. So, let's see. Let's see what happens. All right.
Something else, if we're off the Rock topic, I definitely want to bring up something else if you guys are interested.
Off Raw or on
Shoot.
Raw?
Shoot.
Off Raw.
Okay.
Chris Sabin in Ring of Honor.
Oh, no, okay. Spoiler alert, anybody that wants something about Ring of Honor, I'll cover your...
Ring of Honor
I think Ring of Honor already spoiled it for themselves.
Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, Chris Sabin is in Ring of Honor. We were talking about last week, why can't they sign Chris Sabin, which he ends up being one of the guys wearing those stupid masks, Kings of Dawns, whatever he's revealed as well.
The Knights of the Rising Dawn, the KRD. Basically, I read the spoilers, so I could kind of explain what happened. And for those who want to watch Ring of Honor TV, I suggest tuning out now for a couple minutes. But I guess they had like a match with the Kingdom. The Kingdom and not the Kingdom.
Not the Kingdom.
Shit.
It was Christopher Daniels and Kaz versus Red Dragon.
It was Addiction versus Red Dragon.
There was something else. There was something else before that happened in the first TV tape. I'm going to pull it up here now. Basically, there was a run-in by the KRD, and it was two guys. And then it was Daniels, ACH, and somebody else making the save. So they kind of preluded that the Addiction wasn't a part of it, with Daniels making a save. But later on in the night, with the Ring of Honor World Tag Team title match, they had it revealed that Captain Daniels were indeed a part of it with Chris Sabin.
Man, wait till I share what I think about this. We'll go for it, everybody.
I like the idea. It's okay, but Red Dragon dropping the titles, spoiler alert to anybody that doesn't know, I mean, yeah. Red Dragon, you had this great run that they had, and it leads to the Addiction getting the tag titles. And I think we were talking about this last week, where we were talking about if Red Dragon, when they should lose. And I forget who it was, but somebody's like, if they drop it to the Addiction, I'm going to go insane. And
I think that was me, probably.
Probably.
But I'm kind of fine with this.
Something about O'Reilly winning the
TV
title off of Lethal.
I'm kind of fine with it now because it gives them, Chris and Kaz, actually a story, and they're actually something. They're actually, basically they're important in the company now. Because they weren't what they were in TNA. Because in TNA, when they're in the tag division, they weren't that. They were the important tag team. They were one of the top tag teams. Now they're important in Ring of Honor. So,
and not only that, truthfully, the Red Dragon reign had to come to an end. I mean, let's be honest. They held the belts for 2 years. It gives the Addiction something to do.
I'm not even mad that Red Dragon lost the titles.
If I had to choose, though, I would have put the titles on RPG Vice. The spoiler alert for... I don't know if I should give it away, but...
it was before the Ring of Honor show. I think you're good.
I think that show's already out, too.
Yeah, cover your ears if you still don't want to know or if you don't know. But RPG Vice took the IWGP Junior Tag titles from the Young Bucks at Evasion Attack over the weekend.
I didn't know. Damn it. Why I'm crying now? The Bucks. No.
But it was, I think that they should have put the tag titles on RPG Vice and done what they did, the Forever Hooligans were the first ones to do it. Then it was the Young Bucks winning both titles. Then it was Red Dragon winning both titles. So then you could have put the tag titles on RPG Vice, leading to possibly Red Dragon's ultimate breakup, and it would have worked. Maybe it's just because I'm not on board with it right now, but I don't know.
I think the big question is, where do O'Reilly and Fish go from here? I think that is
have fucking Kyle O'Reilly go heel. Have Kyle O'Reilly go heel. Fuck it.
No. I think O'Reilly is a born babyface. I think I think Bobby Fish is meant to be a heel, and O'Reilly is like the guy that the crowd gets behind. If Ring of Honor push...
hold on, I'm trying to say something.
I'm trying to say something here, yeah. Are you sure it's a good idea to break up Red Dragon? Think about it.
I mean, Kyle O'Reilly...
Hold on, listen. Think about that
Kyle
tag
O'Reilly
division
needs to be singles.
But listen, think about that tag division without Red Dragon.
They got Raymond Rowe and fucking Hanson.
They got Ray Rowe and Hanson. They got
Addiction.
RPG Vice. They got Addiction.
That's it.
I'm trying to think. They got the Young Bucks when they were around. Yeah, the Kingdom, the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Is that right?
No, not Junior. They're just the heavyweight.
Yeah, just heavyweight? All right, see, I'm meaning this IWGP Junior and heavyweight and all this crap. Yeah, I'm not good with it, guys.
All right, well, if you think that's
another...
if you think that's a tag division, if you split up Red Dragon, if you like what you see there, then I guess. I'm used to seeing better. I don't know, but when it comes to Ring of Honor's tag division, I'm used to seeing better than this. I mean, on Thursday's show when Nick came on, he made a point. Ring of Honor had once had a good tag division. Now it just went down. To me, I'm almost calling WWE tag better than Ring of Honor.
Another team that you guys forgot is Matt Sydal and the ACH. They've been teaming up lately.
That's very true. I think my scenario going into this is O'Reilly with the TV title off of Lethal, and then you do J&J for the world title at Best of the World. I think that's the best thing to go.
And let's not forget, Kyle O'Reilly gets more important matches than fucking Bobby Fish. No offense to Bobby.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I mean, Bobby Fish did get AJ Styles as well.
Yeah, that's it. But let's go back. Kyle O'Reilly, he's had AJ Styles. He's had Samoa Joe. Like, he's always in big matches, always big single matches. Let's not forget, he was PWG heavyweight champ. So I think he's learned a lot. I think he's learned a lot from Bobby, though, like when it comes promo-wise. So I think he's
not
ready.
Not only that, he is under the learning tree all the time of former Ring of Honor World Champion and former TNA Tag Team Champion Davey Richards, too. So you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I was thinking of that because I was thinking back to how Ring of Honor was really pushing Davey Richards as their top guy, and I think they see that in Kyle O'Reilly as well. But I mean, no offense to Davey Richards, he did some great stuff in Ring of Honor, but I feel like Kyle O'Reilly would be kind of a better polished version of what Ring of Honor thought that Davey Richards was going to be. I feel like he would connect better with the crowd, and a big problem with when Davey was in there is that he was feuding with Kevin Steen, and I think the crowd loved Kevin Steen even more, even though he was supposed to be the bad guy. That didn't help Davey a lot, but I think the Ring of Honor sees O'Reilly as their guy. Hopefully they can see that. I don't know why they wouldn't. He's got everything. He's got everything the world champ should need.
He's the future of ROH for sure.
Yeah, you could put the world title on him and nobody would have a problem with it because he has all the tools. He has everything that you want in a world champion. So, I don't know. I think just the bigger question is what happens to Bobby Fish. Because this is what happens when you break up tag teams is one guy is on his way up. So where does the other guy go?
And then there's a lot of questions about the Briscoes as well. Obviously, there's rumors about them going to NXT midsummer. What do you do with Jay Briscoe's title reign out of this?
I think you got to put you. I think
that's a good question.
Yeah. I think the Briscoes are on their way. So if you're going to do that, you have to put the title on Jay Lethal. There's no other possible person to put the title on. Jay Lethal is the number one clear-cut choice to put that title on after Jay Briscoe.
I still shake my head at Ring of Honor losing Tommaso Ciampa, although after the article they posted on their website today, I'm starting to think that's a little bit kayfabe.
You think that they're working us now? That they're really working
Absolutely. There's no way they post an article saying that Tommaso's been fired for attacking Todd Sinclair after he said he was
do you think that they did that because, Tommaso, days before said that he had parted ways with Ring of Honor before the stuff in San Antonio happened where he attacked Todd Sinclair. So I feel like they only posted the article because it gave them validation storyline-wise to, get rid of him.
I think a lot of people knew before the show that he was leaving, so I don't think that was really needed. I think it's going to be a Taven thing all over again.
Man.
I mean,
I didn't read complete the spoilers, but they haven't said anything or give out any clue who could possibly face Jay Briscoe at the world. They didn't give out any clue at all.
Jay Lethal needs to be a heavyweight champion, bro.
Meltzer has reported that it will be Jay Lethal versus Jay Briscoe, and Lethal keeps calling out Jay Briscoe on shows as well. I just watched Supercard of Honor. I just watched him face Jushin Thunder Liger, and he, right after the match, said, "I'm the man in Ring of Honor. I'm the only champion," basically continuing to call out Jay Briscoe. So I can only assume that there's going to be an ultimate showdown.
Yeah, it's common sense. Like Jay Lethal, we've been talking about this since, last year. Jay Lethal's been on fire. He deserves to be the more contender or champ right now. I think he'd be a better champ than fucking Briscoe.
Yeah. Makes more sense to give the title to Jay Lethal. I mean, he's on fire, and if you're gonna lose Jay Briscoe, fuck it, drop the title to Jay Lethal and have him find an opponent for him. Maybe a Roderick Strong. I'm assuming, but yeah, you got to find someone for Jay Lethal after he wins the title.
I think Jay Lethal and Matt Sydal could have phenomenal matches in the main event, as well as ACH. I know they did it in the mid-card, but stepping up to that main event level, that could be something real serious.
Yeah, I think I'd rather see the ACH match first than Matt Sydal. I still feel like it was just not long ago we just saw Matt Sydal and Jay Lethal win at it. But I think I'd rather see an ACH and Jay Lethal World title first before another.
Even Cedric Alexander. I think that would be another one.
I don't know if this was mentioned on the show yet, but there's been dirt sheets that ACH may be going to NXT soon. So I don't know if we. I don't know if we mentioned it yet here.
I heard of. I think we might have mentioned last week, but I did mention. I heard the dirt sheet that ACH could be going to WWE bound. What, the end of the year possibly?
And as well as that, Uha Nation reported to the Conference Center today.
Yep, you signed. Hey.
I know we were talking about it last week because we got into the conversation where we were talking about that Ring of Honor needs to stack up that roster. They can't just keep building one guy at a time or bringing in a guy from their camp or something. You need to start bringing in...
I know the right person, Tom. Who's the right person to make that TV title if Kyle O'Reilly's not that guy? Ever.
Yeah, I just,
I feel like Dalton Castle would be that guy.
What about Andrew Everett?
Yeah,
that's another guy, but
even back in Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he just did the 13th anniversary, the Supercard of Honor show.
Speaking of Everett, I don't know if we can move on to PWG real quick. I just want to say him and Ricochet. Oh my God.
Hey, not just only him and Ricochet, Mike Bailey and Trevor Lee. Wow.
Oh, that's insane. That's not a wow. That was insane.
And I saw a little bit too much of Ethan Page than I wanted to through Twitter that night. That's what I was going to leave it at.
Did you see my tweet when I tweeted the match with Mike Bailey and Trevor Lee? That match was insane. They had to have a rematch. I would love to see a Guerrilla Warfare match with those two, or a 203 Falls match with those guys. It would be insane. Mike Bailey has definitely basically he basically wrote his name at PWG. He's got a spot on that roster for sure now. He's there. He basically made himself a PWG regular that night, I would have to say. And I know Oscar, he's a regular too. Your thoughts on that, Oscar? Like, what did you think after seeing Mike Bailey like in that match?
I say, wow. He just like what you say. He has a spot on that roster. He has to come every show now. And I have to say, that was the best match of the night. I enjoyed that, every minute of it. So, all you guys, that when the DVD comes out, that's the match to see, right there.
Let's not forget Zack Sabre Jr. and Roddy Strong. What a matchup right there, too. That was a hell of a match. If you've never seen a Zack Sabre Jr. match, you need to go ahead and just type him in on Daily Motion and watch his shit. He's probably the best technical wrestler in professional wrestling right now, hands down. He's definitely up there.
Check him out on Noah. There he is.
Since we're on the PWG topic, would you guys want to talk a little bit about DDT4 and the announced card for it?
Yeah.
Do we have time to? Yeah, I think we do have time. I got the names here for the matches and shit, if you guys want me to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, feel free.
So, for the PWG Heavyweight title, Roddy Strong will be putting his title on the line against Chris Hero and Brian Cage. Your thoughts on that main event, people? I know, Oscar, I don't know what your thoughts is. I don't know you guys, I know you guys watch the DVD, but you both, like, share your thoughts with me on this one.
Main event looks pretty cool. I've seen Roderick Strong and Chris Hero had a good match in Ring of Honor before. Now you had Brian Cage. It's going to be very interesting. But early to do prediction, I still see Roderick Strong still walking out of the championship.
The thing I want to say about this match, I'm really surprised to see Brian Cage in the main event. Like, normally, if Michael Elgin was allowed to work in PWG, they'll be teaming up in DDT4. But him in the main event, Brian Cage is kind of red hot. I'm not a big fan of him in his main event, but he's red hot right now. Lucha Underground, AAA. Throw him a bone.
Yeah, I think it's a good main event, to do for DDT4. Should be a good match. All three of those guys can go out there and do it. I like the main event put together. It's something I think a lot of people might not have thought of, but still interesting nonetheless.
I guess we got to play a little. One of these things is not like the other soundbite, because I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this main event. Like Skitz was saying, I don't really see Brian Cage as a main event player. I don't really see Chris Hero as a main event player in PWG. But I guess with all the guys taken up for DDT4, I guess you really had no other options. So I guess I kind of understand it.
I wanted to throw something out there real quick, Matt. Like, Chris Hero's kind of super over right now in PWG. Like, it's ridiculous. So, like...
Yeah. And usually in years past, what they've done with DDT4 is something like this, is the guys that really aren't in the tournament, they'll just put them in the main event if they're, pretty popular. They're not going to take the guys just starting off or something.
I kind of feel like Gargano should have been in that title match over one of those guys, to be honest.
I'm kind of with Gargano Mike Bailey match though.
Yeah, Gargano and Mike.
But Gargano in the main event, he hasn't been really on the show as of late, so it just feels weird that a guy hasn't been on the show for like the.
To be fair, either has Brian Cage.
But Brian Cage was on the last show.
Yeah, he was on the last show.
But was
and the
it
show
like
before that?
No, he missed the last show before that. Was he in Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
But I'm saying, even a guy, he missed 3 shows in a row and you put him in the main event, that's kind of a head scratcher there.
Was it really 3 shows in a row, Gargano?
It seems like it.
He missed one, but before he was in I think he was tagging up with Chuck Taylor once, and that surprised Chuck Taylor or Trent's not there.
Yeah, Chuck Taylor hasn't really been booked for a while. It's been a really weird one.
Gargano versus Speedball Bailey, though. I think that's gonna be a good one.
I think I understand. I understand that. I think Gargano and Bailey is the better match, and I understand kind of the placement of the world title match. And I think DDT4 is looking great. If you guys want to get into that as well.
Yeah, the first.
Question about Chuck Taylor is the reason why he hasn't been booked because Trent is too busy with the New Japan thing going on now.
He can still do it. Remember, but let's not forget when Trent was hurt, he was still getting booked. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, he was working with Gargano quite a bit,
and plus he was working by himself too. But let's go through the teams that are going to be part of DDT4. The first team to enter to make their debut, Team Tremendous.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming at all.
I mean, I've seen Team Tremendous tag a couple times. I've seen them live. You guys are gonna like them. Fun, entertaining tag team, but when they need to go out there, they can do high flying stuff. You're gonna see a big guy doing stuff that a guy his size shouldn't be able to do. You guys are gonna like Team Tremendous. So
I think that's a match. I want to say there's
I think the one thing, Skits, that you were talking about was DDT4 was all in the Young Bucks, and look at this tournament, no Young Bucks.
Yeah, it's good. I think that's a good thing, kind of.
Well, you know what? Going back to Team Tremendous, I mean, I've seen them a lot in CCW. I even saw them in House of Hardcore not long ago.
There's a free match with them on Beyond Wrestling against Red Dragon. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do that, so it's cool. I mean, great to see him. Great to see him in person for the first time. Yeah, but going back to the Bucks, I mean, it's just weird. Not seeing them there, but oh well. I'm just saying, because now you see the Bucks out, no Trent. That means no best friends. I mean, it's in Japan kind of boxiness, maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be Japan bookings, but it is what it is. You gotta make that money, so different places to feed your family. But here's another team. I'm pretty sure we are predicted. Drew Gulak and Biff Busick entering in DDT4. I'm looking forward to that.
I like the gun. Love it, man.
I like to call them Team CCW because some idiot's gonna chant.
But Biff, I heard Biff is not even part of CCW no more. I don't know if that's true.
Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, with the bookings he's getting lately. But I'm on a side note. I'm really excited for these two against the Wolves at Smash Wrestling. But really excited for them in this tournament as well. Hopefully, we get some cool matchups.
Yeah,
definitely. Speaking of CCW, Beaver Boys, the next team to enter DDT4.
Those guys are going over as heels out there. Sometimes I feel like they don't like Alex Reynolds for shit out there, but the guy kind of stopped doing the jerking off thing. First of all, he jerked off fucking Troy Ryan's arm. So, yeah.
I like the Beaver Boys. I'm glad they're getting more of a shot here. Interesting tag team, something different. And I feel like I tweeted about this, and that's what I am liking about this DDT4 tournament. It's not the same stuff that we've been seeing for the past couple of years. There are some familiar teams, but there's a lot of fresh new matchups that we're going to see. And I said that's been what PWG has been in 2015. It's just it's something different. It's fresh matchups. It's new faces, new guys getting shots, and I think that's really it's going to help PWG, and it's breathing in some new air into the company.
Definitely.
I agree.
Next up,
I was going to say there's another team that really helps. Our PWG really helps out, and it's really going to help their bookings, and that was Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee.
Oh yeah, I mean, those guys. I couldn't imagine a team together. I couldn't see them teaming together, but it's a crazy team. I think they're both Carolina boys, so it'll
they're
be
good friends. I want to say Trevor Lee was watching Everett's match against Ricochet and eating at the same time. I think I was getting something to drink and I saw it. Yeah, so they're like real close friends.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that Trevor Lee, Cedric Alexander, and Andrew Everett, I think they're all pretty close because they did a lot of stuff in the Carolinas together, most notably CWF Mid-Atlantic. So I think they're, like, all three of those guys are familiar, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Trevor Lee and Everett could do as far as tag team maneuvers. Both guys are out of their mind.
You got the PWG Tag Team Champions, Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan, the World's Cutest Tag Team. They're in, of course. For those that don't know how the PWG DET4 works, I'll tell you the rules after. Also, you got the Inner City Machine Guns. That is Ricochet and Rich Swann. That's going to be fun. Another fun team. Monster Mafia, of course.
My boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love Gun. That is Matt Seidel and Chris Sabin.
That's my favorite right there. I think Love Gun will win the whole thing. That's my favorite. I'm calling it right now.
I'm not going with them. Sorry. I'm going with the Hills. I'm going with Monster Mafia. Not because, not just because they're fucking massive boys, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You might be right.
I'm looking at all the teams, and Monster Mafia makes the most sense in the fact that...
Especially after last show and the UFC interaction and all that, I can't see them not going over.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Skips, we saw his bare ass there.
It's all over the internet, bro. It's crazy.
But I'm looking at some of the other teams like, Inner City and Gulak and Busick, and Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett. And those type of teams, they don't really need to win, or it doesn't make sense for them to win because those guys are primarily singles guys. So, but then when you look at World's Cutest Tag Team, Team Tremendous, Beaver Boys, and Monster Mafia, those are tag teams in PWG. Those are, they haven't done singles matches. They stick together. So, I don't know. I'm hoping for a Mafia win. I think that would be huge for them. I think, it'd be a big upset. But we'll see. I'm excited for DDT4.
Remember this, though.
Let me tell the rules real quick of DDT4. Like, say if Candice and Joey are in the first match, titles are on the line right away.
Yep.
It's a tournament.
Titles are on the line throughout the tournament. So if they get beat, let's just say in the first round by the Beaver Boys have the titles, and then they have to face Gulak and Busick. If they lose, Gulak and Busick are the new champions. So it could go all over the place.
Yeah, because I remember
we could see up to 3 title changes in one night.
Yep, I remember my first DDT4. I believe Roddy Strong and Davey. Not Davey Richards, Roddy Strong and Eddie Edwards. I think they took the titles from the Super Smash Brothers.
No, you're wrong. Wait, I'm trying.
They took it from somebody. I forgot.
It was Unbreakable SM Machines.
It was
yeah,
somebody.
I was going to say Cage and Elgin. I knew they took the belts.
But I know the Smash Brothers lost their titles that night too.
Yeah.
It was a crazy night that night. So.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking of them. God damn, I wish the Super Smash Brothers would get their fucking visas fixed. Come back to the United States. God damn it. My God.
Even Player Uno himself tweeted, like, it's been like 2 years since they haven't been back in the States, and he's going nuts about it.
Like, fans, ever since they left, fans have just been like, come the fuck back. Like, we're gonna go to the United States government and be like, you know what, bring these guys back into the United States or we're gonna riot.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said I can't wait to see that Falcon Punch again. Never come back.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, there's no ACH, there's no Era Fox, there's no Tommaso Ciampa, no Cedric Alexander. That's about it that I can think of that's on the roster. There's not there. No Chuck T, of course. No Trent. No, did I say ACH already?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just ACH.
Like, it's crazy. Yeah. Like a lot of guys are in book. You know what? I have a feeling that they want to rush DDT4 because it's like almost around that time, Bola time and shit. You know.
Yeah. You know, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 more shows after DDT4 before Ebola, and those guys will be back. That's the thing with DDT4. Whenever it comes around, ever since it first started in 2007, there's only so many guys you can book for DDT4. I know they used to do DDT4 as a 2-day tournament, and they used to have more guys in it, but I don't know if they, you know, with guys taking other bookings now and the money, it's only 1-day tournament, so it makes sense. But you know, those guys.
Good. The match that or pick this out, guys. Thursday, since we're not going to be on Friday because I have work and Matt's going to be busy that day, so we got to go on Thursday. So. Thursday, write some matches that you like to see part of DDT4, like some people you like to see meet in the ring that day. So we'll discuss that on Thursday. We'll probably talk some more wrestling, probably some NXT.
Yeah. We'll talk. I know we didn't get to talk about it in the show. We'll talk about the whole AJ Lee thing, possibly New Japan. A lot of things to talk about.
SmackDown.
People talk about SmackDown?
SmackDown is actually good. Better than fucking weak-ass TNA.
Yeah, I didn't even know that thing was still alive. Anyways, let's get on to good stuff.
Shut your mouth. Oscar? Go ahead.
All right, well, I guess we'll talk about that all. I know we'll give our plugs already. You guys could follow me at Sinister632 on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Wrestlingheads. And don't forget, April 20th on 420, we got Brian Kendrick. You know, we have him on 420. You don't want to miss that out. And I want to give a shout out to Hernandez. He was a great time to have him on here. Good thing he bashed TNA earlier today. It was pretty cool. Yeah. And
wow.
I guess till Thursday. Oh, before we go to Thursday, I'm going to say I am going to be working back in the website pretty soon to check that out. And I guess till Thursday, I'll see you there. I guess the other guys, you should give out their plugs before we go off the air.
You can follow me at tweet me on Twitter. That's my only social media place, so follow me there. Make sure to check out youtube.com/WrestlingHeads. Past shows, past interviews, everything you need to know back there. Also, blogtalk.radio /WrestlingHeads. That's the old shows if you want to look back. But, of course, we're now here on the Elite Podcast Network. Speaking of them, make sure you go follow all the other shows, Beyond the 3 Count, Eyes on the Ring, Indie Power Rankings, Uncle Mike and Tom Show, everything and everything, Four Corners Radio. I didn't want to forget everybody, but make sure you go follow them. And, big shout-out to Hernandez. Great talking to him tonight. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter. He's going to be doing big things in Lucha Underground, so you're not going to want to miss out on that.
Yeah, and sorry about the Yankees.
I guess I'll take over from here. Yeah, you guys had an interview with Hernandez, but if you want to hear him talk a little bit more about his TNA career and what his Twitter handle means, that's a funny story. You can check out youtube.com/Weekly Wrestling Podcast. You can check us out at Weekly W Podcast on Twitter. Tomorrow night on this very show at 8 p.m. Eastern, or this very network, I should say, at 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be having plenty of guests on for the Indie Power Rankings Live scheduled. Jerry Jarrett, Les Thatcher, Truth Martini, Veda Scott, and very, very more. That's pretty much about it. Oh, and Mary Elizabeth Monroe on the Tag Team Top 5 reveal on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on the Elite Podcast Network. Check out the shows from the family, and, keep killing it, guys.
And that is a stacked show tomorrow night. I got to say, I just had to interject and say, those names that you just announced, I knew it already, but just hearing them again, it's just like, Jesus Christ, that is way too much talent on one show.
It's going to be a 3-hour extravaganza. Check it out.
You can also follow me at WHSkits on Twitter. That's about it. Twitter. The only thing that really matters right now. Wrestlingheads.com for sure. You already know what's up. ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads. New t-shirt logo should be up there by, I'm hoping, tomorrow. I got to email ProWrestlingTees and see what's up with that. Facebook.com/WrestlingHeads. And I guess that's it. That's for outro.
Go Dodgers.
Into Thursday. And like you said, go Dodgers. EPN.
Awesome.
We're EPN. We're out. #WHRADIO.